hooked in the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life, life. Give me a break, need another life.
The matter of the Premier League is back on the agenda immediately following the Carabao Cup ties, where Mikel Arteta's response continues, and this is where it counts, as his team welcome newly promoted Leicester City to the Emirates, and it's live. Well, no sooner had the buzzing from the 5-0 win over Bolton in the Carabao Cup ended, Arsenal and the Emirates' attention turns to a returnee to the Premier League in Leicester City. It is so good to have them back, as they did provide us with one of the most memorable Premier League wins of all time. And now they're back to reacquaint themselves with the big boys once again. Could they really win it all again? Well, it's not that likely, and I think this season, certainly not. But who would say no? I certainly wouldn't. Well, Steve Cooper, I believe that is the man at the helm now. It was very different to back then, of course. It was Claudio Ranieri that did the unthinkable and the unimaginable at that point. And the squad is very different too. No Kasper Schmeichel anymore, sadly. Although, happily, he, like his great old man, is a Premier League winner. But there is one person in this Leicester squad that's still around. That man at the end there, the evergreen Jamie Vardy, who I would not be surprised if he's got an honorary sense in the town of Leicester by the end of his career. Having a look at the Arsenal squad, it's back to full strength today. David Raya is back, as is Saliba and Gabriel. Benjamin White-Keyboard is the only real unknown, I guess. But aside from that, it is the traditional starting 11 for Arteta today. Having a look at the Leicester lineup then. A very different goalkeeper in Maz Haddison now. Ricardo Pereira is still here as well. And it's a very different back three with him. Ndidi is actually still here as well. He's a familiar name. Jamie Vardy, as we said, evergreen as ever. And, well, he was the goal-scoring machine that put Leicester into that position to win the Premier League. And he broke a record while he did it, didn't he? But he's going to have a pretty tough time against a formidable Arsenal defence and a very formidable goalkeeper. All of which they have been rested from the Carabao Cup fixture midweek. So we'll see how that goes. So the interesting man for the Arsenal side today will be the returning to starting lineup for Alexander Isak. He played a little bit under Arteta's somewhat newer system to get the striker more involved. Because there was some that noticed that maybe that wasn't the case. It was more of a false nine role, which Isak isn't really used to. So he starts today under the new setup. So we'll see if Arteta's change in philosophy slightly will aid him today. It got him a goal in midweek. He could have had about 3 or 4 by the end of it. So at least that is a good start, even if they didn't all go in. Here is Saka. So Bukayo Saka actually aggravated, and hang on a minute, here's Isak, and there was a challenge there, but I don't think it was a foul. Saka actually picked up an injury during the game against Manchester City. He was actually kept out of the squad afterwards against Bolton. Not that he probably would have started anyway, but yeah, he did have a bit of a knock, but he's back now, and he is back to full strength apparently. Returned to training the day after the Carabao Cup, I believe. So Saka is back in for today, and he's already on the ball, getting his shirt pulled, but he's far too strong, and he's scored. And that is what they would have missed. And that is why Mikel Arteta has probably, for the lack of a better phrase, wrapped him in cotton wool. Because of scenarios like this, Bukayo Saka has scored again. The wingers have really been amongst it lately for Arsenal. I almost said Manchester City there. But they really have been amongst it for Arsenal, with Martinelli getting a match ball, +2 against Manchester City. And Bukayo Saka's got, I believe, his 5th or 6th goal of the season. He's definitely been amongst it. So even if Isak doesn't bang them in, at least Saka is. Arsenal 1, Leicester City 0 already, and we've only played just over 5 minutes. Well, is it going to be another one of those days for Arsenal where they just continue to score goals, really? And what will Leicester get out of this? We know that a goal at least has been the average of conceding for Arsenal, but they've scored so many goals that eventually it kind of has them far and away by the time that goal goes in. The closest they came to without actually being beaten, which Manchester City did, was Spurs with 2. But then City scored 3, so they kind of broke that a little bit. But against Manchester City and the likes of Phil Foden and Erling Haaland, you could probably expect to some degree. Arsenal need a bounce back win here after that. They dropped to 2nd or 3rd, I believe, behind Newcastle United, who are the surprise leaders of the league at the moment, despite losing Alexander Isak. And they certainly lost a lot of the goals with it, but the replacements and the team has survived pretty well without him, to be fair. Well, not survived, that's probably too strong a word, but have definitely done well without him, that's for sure. They'll miss him, but they're certainly doing pretty well without him for the moment. And here is Isak now, and he still can't put it in. Well, it's certainly working now for Alexander Isak. He just needs to be back amongst the goals now. But at least he started creating chances for himself and actually being in a position to do so. And that's the big plus that Arteta will take with the system he's implemented. We talk about systems and philosophies for managers. Only very few managers possess that kind of talents. Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson definitely, Pep Guardiola for sure. Mikel Arteta is looking to put his name amongst those greats. And maybe if this works out for him and he wins a league title and he implements something like this to get Isak more involved, it will certainly make people happy. But oh no! Alves has scored for Leicester City and it's a whole mess in the box. David Raya once again is very unlucky, to be fair, because the ball just falls into Alves' lap. And well, he's able to run in like Reece Nelson did a few games ago. Jamie Vardy picking out his teammate. David Raya came out and did everything right, but the ball just ended up at Alves' lap, and it's a tap-in. And once again, it's not really the fault of Raya or maybe his defenders, but just the luck of the draw. Leicester immediately right back in it, and now it's 1-1. Another conceded goal for Arsenal. It seems to be more of a problem than scoring was last season, which was a real big talking point for them. But now they can't start this. We're not leaking goals per se. Raya's making all the important saves, so we're not exactly leaking goals. So it's not exactly a complete issue. Like we said, the most they did was against Manchester City, but then they do have Phil Foden and Erling Haaland on their team, so it was almost inevitable, really. So trying to pick out Trossard there. Decorah Reed. It's Alves, the goal scorer. Jamie Vardy. Great pass. Navidi. Pick out Vardy, Alves again, but Arsenal hold it up really well. Stormare comes up with it. Decorah Reed. Runs into Gabriel. And now runs into Keywall as well. And it's out for a corner. Steve Copper did wonderfully at Nottingham Forest and probably earned this position. And I think he was the man to bring Leicester up last season, I think. Unless he was at Norwich Forest at the time. Leicester have gone through quite a few managers, I believe, since Claudio Ranieri. And they said another early save there for Raya. An early save, but a save nonetheless. Saka. And now here is Isak. And there he is. That's another goal for Alexander Isak. And that is exactly the thing with Isak. He might miss a bunch, as he did last time, but as long as one goes in, it isn't all bad. And now Isak is hoping to thrive. Now the floodgates open for him at Bolton Wanderers with all the chances he created. He even had a penalty that was wonderfully saved by the keeper, to be fair. But now Isak is really reining in the chances. So at least one of them is going to go in on a regular basis. And that's the plan. And an immediate response puts Arsenal back in front by 2-1. Well, as we said, the resiliency of Arsenal cannot be questioned this season. Oh, Jamie Vardy. And a bit of an audacious shot. Most of the conceded goals have been Wordleys from opposing teams, to be fair. David Raya has been beaten by a couple of really good strikes by opposing players. But that one from Alves just fell into his lap. Really, you can't blame Raya for that. He did make the save. Maybe his defenders probably could do better, you could argue. Gabriel and Saliba, for the most part, have been tremendous so far this year in keeping the goals down, if nothing else. Jimmy Vardy, and that's a pretty poor header by his standards. Well, as we said, there's an instalment of belief and grit about this Arsenal team since the new signings of Sterling, Isak and Moreno. It's installed a new air of confidence, not just in the team, but in the fan base as well. Trophies are a must here to validate it all, really, even if it is just the Carabao Cup. Arsenal fans definitely quoted as saying they'll take it. I know my missus has. With a read, and it's gone over Vardy and ended up with Vididi, and it's a goal. Leicester will not go away. And it was much of that grit and determination from them that we loved when they were last in the Premier League. And Mavidi, and maybe you can't really blame Ben White for that. Probably could have got better game to the ball, but I think Ben White probably overcommitted a bit, if we're going to blame anybody for that. Raya probably could have been better positioned. And conceding is a thing for Arsenal. It's not exactly a problem. When they start dropping points, then it'll probably become a problem that Arsenal will need to fix. Alves tackles Jorginho, and David Raya takes no chances because play was allowed to go on there. I think that's Mavidi's first goal of the year. Here is Alves. Alves is looking very lively at the moment. Well, I suppose the thing we can guarantee about Arsenal this season is at least we're guaranteed some cracking games and some cracking goals. Nicholas has scored for Chelsea in their game against Brighton. So they're 1 goal to the good there now. And Stamford Bridge. Over to Reed, getting a lot of the ball early on. Now Alves. The ball with a great tackle. And they get it right defensively, Arsenal. They get it right. But they are conceding probably 1 too many goals at times. Saka to Isak, but they're immediately responding with strikes like that from Alexander Isak. That's the second goal for him today. Will he get a hat-trick? Wouldn't bet against it. I don't think that would be his first one. I think he got plenty for 1 or 2 for Newcastle in his time. Alexander Isak, wonderfully placed strike. He knows how to place it, Isak. And Well, we said at Bolton, maybe the floodgates have opened for him. And they certainly might have today. 3-2. It's probably going to be one of those high-scoring games. And we certainly wouldn't say no to that. Arsenal 3, Leicester City 2. It's not over by a long chalk. Vardy. And Vardy's on the ball. Almost 90% expect a goal. Really? Vardy prolific. Carlo Pereira. Keywall and Trossard doing very well to get the ball back there, but Trossard unfortunately lost it. Probably trying a bit of an over-audacious pass to a degree. Escamaya. Alves. And a score coming in. James has scored for West Ham United. And they are a goal up at Brentford as a result. Strike from Isak. 3 goals in 2 now. And 3 in 5 appearances for Arsenal. And he's certainly getting amongst it now. Saliba to White. Gabriel. Moreno. Jorginho. And now Leo Trossard going to whip it in towards Saka. I think his intended target was there, Isak, but he'll certainly take it. Now, Jamie Vardy. Alves. Vardy in support. It's tackled by Gabriel. As Arsenal do have two of the best centre-backs in the league. They're probably the best pairing behind Manchester City with Diaz. Centre-back as well. They're certainly up there amongst in the discussion. It's just that those unfortunate goals that they have conceded. Wonderful move and ball there by Trossard. Now here's Keywall. And now here's Isak. And now here's Saka. Odegaard's coming in. Oh, at the post by Martin Odegaard. Trossard whips it back in towards Saka. Squammeyer gets his head to that first. And now here's Odegaard. And now here's White. Wonderful play here from Arsenal. They're relentlessly attacking. Vestergaard, good header again. Ndidi finally gets it away. A relentless banging of the wall down from Arsenal. This has been synonymous with them this season to a degree. Fortunately, didn't end up in a goal there, but oh man, what a first half. 5 goals, 2 for Isak, 1 for Alves, and as well. That man's on the verge of a hat-trick as the floodgates have now opened. And it's just a question now of how many more. We've already had 5, Arsenal 3, Leicester City 2 at the break. Welcome back to the Emirates Stadium, where we have had a great first half and plenty of goals and hope for more. Arsenal lead by 3 goals to 2. 2 goals from Isak and 1 from Saka. Put them in that position. But Leicester City, much like before in their first time in the Premier League, or at least the most recent time they were in the league, refused to go away. And they're giving Arsenal a game. And that is very much their style. Alves has been substituted. We don't know who for, because most of the captions and things don't really work that well in this game. We'll know in a second. It's a free kick here for Odegaard. Fatu has come on. Got the free kick. Oh! Did that hit the bar, or did the keeper save it? The referee says the keeper saved it. It's a corner. Good free kick from Odegaard. Now takes the resulting corner. Saliba. I thought he was going to bring it down and give it a whack. Hopefully into the top corner, but sadly no. Moreno, Jorginho. Oh, and Odegaard almost had a brilliant touch, but he's got the ball back anyway. Jorginho has scored. It's 4-2. It's absolutely glorious play from Arsenal. It wasn't all 100% on strings, but it was pretty close. Wonderful stuff. Odegaard absolutely fighting tooth and claw to get a foothold on this ball. He found Jorginho and needed the rest. But look at this from Odegaard. Does not give it up. He thinks he's done a beautiful touch. It ends up being a bit wayward, but he gets it back. Finds Jorginho cutting into the box. And it is 4-2. And it is more beautiful play from this Arsenal side. Reminiscent of very, very similar and somewhat legendary times under Arsene Wenger. Arteta certainly is pulling a lot from the Arsene Wenger playbook right now and is benefiting. David has scored for Nottingham Forest against Fulham. And that is 2-0 for them. And here's Mavidi again. He's already got one today. Well, Mikel Arteta, of course, a player under the great Arsene Wenger. He knows how he works, and looks like he's integrating some of that Arsene Wenger playbook with that beautiful style of play, and they are thriving off of it, even if they did lose to City earlier in the season. And that loss to City last week, they've had the perfect response to it, winning the next 2 games. Like we said at the end of the game of the Etihad, it's the response that matters now. And that response has been 9 goals so far. And plenty of great work, build-up play to go with it. Ben White into Isak! And the bicycle kick is missed. I really wish he had scored that one. Could have been a contender for goal, but it was offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Oh, it's his toes. It's his toe. Oh my god, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Oh, that is hugely unfortunate. We could have had a goal for the season contender right there from Alexander Isak. He's certainly thriving in this new setup. He's reigning in the chances. Don't be surprised if he gets a third today. Isak is completely on it. And it's exactly what Arsenal would have wanted. Now they're getting a return on their investment. Here's Trossard. Oh. Fairs was right there to deal with him immediately. And now Culver-Reid again. He's actually seeing a lot of the ball today. Doing really well with it. Whips it in. And Ben White heads away. Here's Saka. The foundation of this team, Bukayo Saka. But they've also proven that if he does go down, his teammates can more than pick it up. Odegaard has found Isak once again offside. But he can't be discouraged. He's receiving a lot more of the ball now. In good positions. He's a long way offside that time. He's a long way offside, but they'll certainly take the movement now. I think Mavidi is hobbling a bit, we're hearing. Let's hope he's okay. We're not the greatest throw in the world, but oh, and Ben White almost came up with it. Now, can Leicester make something of this perhaps? Whipped it in. And once again, cleared by Saliba. Because he has just been brilliant, along with Gabriel, to be fair. And now, Martin Odegaard. Oh, a wonderful ball over the top for Alexander Isak. It's a hat-trick. Alex Isak has got a hat-trick. It's a beautiful pass from Odegaard. And it's more beautiful play from Arsenal. Another 5 goals. That's 10 in 2 games. They have turned into the scoring machines. This is exactly what the pre-season was about. Arsenal needed goals. And they've got 3 from Isak today. And 3 from Martinelli last time. But he is the man they wanted to score these goals. And Mikel Arteta is setting up, I think, 3 or 4 substitutions. One of which includes Raheem Sterling. Score coming in. Is that Brighton? Brighton have turned it round against Chelsea. They were 1 up in the first half. And Marcena is still trying to figure it out at Stamford Bridge. Isak has gone off for Edwards. Saka has gone off for Sterling. I think there was a third one. And we'll see that in a second. And we'll catch you up with it in a second, any day now. I think it was Declan Rice for Georgie. Yes, it was. Declan Rice didn't start the game. He was on the bench. And he's now made an appearance for Jorginho. That's 3 out of the 5 substitutions that every team has available to them. And once again, with Arsenal having an almost unassailable lead, it means Arteta can rest his best players. And he's doing it again. He's basically putting his teams in positions to win and then resting his players as a result of it. Alexander Zinchenko, surely! Oh, that's so unfortunate. And it would have been beautiful. I think the first game me and the missus went to, I think Zinchenko scored this awesome scissor kick. I think it was last season. I think it was. As I said at the beginning of the year, I've never heard the gold song the same way again after what broke out afterwards. Decore Reed and picked up by Saliba. And Arsenal are just playing Leicester off the park now. Trossard, beautiful ball. Edwards. And he can't pass Henderson in the goal. It's another 5-star performance by this Arsenal side. And they are... It's only been maybe 5 or 6 games full on. Wait a minute. We hit Brighton and West Ham. 3 goals to 1, I think. But we've got drama here because we might have a sending off. And we do. Well, Reyes has gone off for a late challenge on Declan Rice. And once again, another sending off by Arsenal's opponents. And is, well, drama there. Brentford fallen behind at West Ham United. I think it was either 2-1 or 3-1. And Akowu has come on for Jamie Vardy. And Fez is off. And Leicester have to do the last 20 minutes with 10 men. And we all know what Arsenal could do when their opponents lose a man. Unfortunately, that free kick was straight into the arms of the keeper. Unfortunately enough. I don't think it was a combo. I think it was a Pokewell, I think. Didn't really catch the name there. And the Arsenal fans in full voice once again. And, well, as well they might be. They are legit title contenders on this evidence. But they need City to stumble somewhere. And that's very, very rare. Trossard, 6-2. For Arsenal, and it's Leo Trossard with another. Well, not only is the likes of Isak scoring goals, the wingers are. Saka and Martinelli have got their part as well, and Trossard now gets his. He already scored against Brighton, of course. But it's nice to see Leo Trossard amongst the goals and amongst the starting spot for Arsenal now. Arsenal 6, Leicester City 2. There could be more. And that now makes it, I believe, 11 goals in the last 2 games for this Arsenal side. They are banging in the goals. They have come from having question marks about them scoring goals last season to banging them in every day, it feels like. With only City being the real blip at the moment. But they've still got to face the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United. They've already overcome Tottenham Hotspur on their home ground. Here's Edwards. And he's missed it. But this Arsenal team looks the complete package at the moment. But Manchester City just need to keep winning the games around them. As long as Arsenal keep piling on the points, they'll always be around. Saliba. That would have been really fun if it had been on target. Tried to bend it round. I don't think he was scoring from there, unfortunately, but you never know. Final substitution of the afternoon for Arsenal, and Fabio Vieira is coming on for Mikel Moreno as he goes off. And well, it's been master strokes by Arteta. His players have definitely made his job easier. And Sterling, that could have gone anywhere. But his players have done their part. You know, they put him in this position for him to rest his best players. If he keeps going like this, then who knows? It probably won't keep going like this, as Manchester City more than proved. They've still got the likes of Newcastle United, who are top of the table at this very moment. I don't know if Arsenal will overhaul them at the end of this. I think they were 2 points behind going into this weekend. And of course, City beat them last week. Sumer has come off for Garcia. Eric Garcia coming on. And Newcastle United, just a word on them. They've definitely emerged as surprise contenders so far this season. Eddie Howe certainly throwing his hat into the ring for maybe a bigger position in the future. But Newcastle will probably want to tie him down to a longer contract, obviously. Because he's doing a wonder job at Newcastle at the moment. I mean, if I'd been on the Man United board at any point, I think I would have picked him personally, but that's just my opinion. I think he would be kind of the perfect match for Manchester United in the phase they're in right now. Probably more of a rebuild than anything else. Although, to be fair, they are amongst the top four at the moment under Erik ten Hag. He's not doing that bad of a job, to be fair. And Ryan makes a good save, but there are rumours that with Ineos in charge, was Ten Hag really their pick? And are they looking at Ruben Almiron for Sporting Lisbon? It would be a very strange... it's only rumours for now, but I think it would be a very strange move to move your manager mid-season when really he's just achieving the minimum at the moment with the top four. So I think it's just really... rumours from somewhere. Oh, Koku. Rumours getting a absolute wonder goal there. It would be. I'm not saying Ten Hag wasn't has not done a good job, because he has. It's just, for my pick, it would have been Eddie Howe back before Ten Hag came in, is what I'm saying. But I'm not part of the Manchester United board. I would never be part of a football club board. Commentating is definitely more my thing when it comes to sports. Anything bigger than that, then definitely not for me. But anyway, I know we're having a bit of a casual discussion here, but Arsenal really are on top of this game now. 6-2 up and absolutely having fun out there. And now here's Edwards trying to get a goal on the board. He passes to Fabio Vieira instead. Harmison saves it. Vieira picks it back up. No one at Leicester's back to deal with it. Odegaard makes the keeper make a save as well. And that's a foul against Pereira, is it? Or... oh no, it is a foul against, I think it's Pereira on Zinchenko. That's strange, because Zinchenko went up for a ball. Probably just fell on his own momentum there. Declan Rice with a burst of speed, and he's had his name up in lights there. And that was probably a bit more, but he probably should have tried, to be fair. But 6 full bright stars for Arsenal today. 3 from Isak, but they'll certainly take it. Leicester City, again, probably the makers of their own undoing, and that's been the case for a lot of Arsenal's opponents this season. I think we've had a red card in about 70% of our coverage this year. Barcelona, Brighton, today. Well, a few red cards going around. I think Aston Villa had a man sent off, didn't they? 9 minutes if added on time. I think we could add 15 and Arsenal would still win here. They're completely on top of this game. Over Reed. Oh, and referee is playing advantage. And Saliba does what Gabriel couldn't there. think that's the greatness of those two. Definitely among the best centre-back pairings in the league right now. Mavidi! Rice definitely throwing his hat to the ring. The best goalkeeper in the league at the moment. Probably behind Edison for obvious reasons, but even still, it's going to definitely come down to who concedes less at this very moment, because Arsenal are scoring for fun and City are still the team to beat. Still scoring for fun themselves with Foden and Haaland. And gathers that out of the air. Save the important ones, that's what Arteta will be telling him. A few more clean sheets wouldn't go amiss, but when your team is as red hot in form as this Arsenal team is, you don't need clean sheets. Not usually. They help, but this Arsenal team has been in free scoring fun over the last 2 or 3 games now. Well, discounting the City game, obviously. But they did score twice, and they made it 3-2, so it still actually counts. There's Edwards, still yet to get on the score sheet in an Arsenal shirt, and he will still be waiting, unfortunately. Here comes Declan Rice, who I believe has already scored for Arsenal in previous games, but not today, because the goalkeeper has stopped him from scoring on that one. Mavidi, oh, great touch. Now, can Leicester muster up one last chance here? It would be nothing more than a consolation at this point. Saliba, make sure the answer to that is no. He's struggling though, but it doesn't matter. There's the full-time whistle. And Arsenal were in a different stratosphere today. Once they started, they didn't stop. 6-2 to them today. 3 and a match ball for Alexander Isak. And that'll be a weight off his back. And now he's definitely amongst the goals, as well as the chances. Leo Trossard got one as well. And just all in all, an absolutely stellar performance once again by Arsenal. Arsenal 6, Leicester City 2. So taking a look at all the scores this weekend and what that means for the Premier League table. And it was a vital win at St James's Park for Manchester City. And that puts them at the top of the table. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Everton and Crystal Palace playing each other to a 1-1 draw. Nottingham Forest winning again. 2-1 against Fulham. Chelsea brought it back to 2-2 in the end. Brentford lost to West Ham by 3-1, as I think we reported earlier. Liverpool 4, Wolves 2, another big scoring game there for them. Ipswich and Aston Villa playing each other to a 3-3 draw, and that adds another point on the board for Aston Villa. And finally, actually there's 2 more scores we've got. Manchester United dropping points again against Spurs, and Bournemouth Southampton has yet to be played. So having a look at the league table then, Manchester City lead by a point ahead of Arsenal. Newcastle United right behind them on goal difference. Manchester United still 4th despite dropping points in the last couple of games or so. Liverpool 5th, followed by Brighton. Chelsea climb to 6th as Mourinho is starting to find his feet there. Nottingham Forest into the top 10 comfortably now in 8th, followed by Aston Villa and Fulham. As we go outside, we have Leicester City, West Ham, Bournemouth, Spurs. It's still not working out for them too well, down in 14th. Southampton, Everton and Brentford complete the safe zone. In the relegation zone, it's still Crystal Palace, Ipswich and Wolves, but now Ipswich are ahead of Wolves by a point. But it's still going to be a long road for them, considering their early part of the season so far.